Okay na tayo. Sige.
Front and center. Front and center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be front and center. And you can watch this program live on our Facebook page, Radyo Pilipinas World Service, and you can catch up this episode later in the evening through our YouTube channel, and as well as you can hear us live on our audio streaming at Evox PBS Receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And we have a good news here because the United States government recently exempted key Philippine agricultural products from the higher 19% reciprocal tariff, sparing over $1 billion worth of farm goods. And just for the context of this issue, earlier in this year, 2025, particularly in April, the U.S. government, through Trump administration, imposed a 19% reciprocal tariff on many Philippine exports. And that tariff rate raised concerns here in the country, especially among exporters as well as farmers and rural communities, because the tariffs significantly increased their cost of accessing the United States market. And just this month, particularly on November 14th, U.S. President Donald Trump issued an executive order granting exemptions for over 200 categories of Philippine agricultural products from that 19% tariff. And the rationale of that executive order, as many of these products are not locally produced in the U.S., making exemptions more economically sensible from the Washington's or the U.S. side. So how helpful is this development regarding this exemptions of the Philippine agricultural products to our economy? So to answer that, we have now on the line the Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry, none other than Secretary Maria Cristina Roque. Good morning, Madam Secretary. Thank you so much for joining us in the program of Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World
Yes,
Service.
good morning, Jerome, and good morning to all your viewers or all those that are listening to your program. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Ayan, good morning. Okay, I'll go straight ahead here, Secretary Roque. So the U.S. Exempts over $1 billion in Philippine farm exports from the 19% tariff. So which products were included and how this list was determined, Secretary?
Yes, actually, this is a win, no, for the agriculture sector or the agriculture industry of the Philippines, especially our farmers, no, kasi 0% tariff po ang agriculture products, namely coconut, copra oil, coconut water, desiccated coconut, fruit juices, processed pineapple. We also have processed bananas, tuna fillet, dried fruits. Tapos, those are the big ones, no? But there are also other products na kasama din po dito, which is the mangoes, and then mangosteen. Meron din tayong cacao, coffee, avocados, carrageenan. So, marami pong, may mga other products din po. Pero yung pinaka magbe-benefit po dito it's the coconut. Kasi malaki po ang export natin ng coconut to the US, coconut products to the US.
Okay. So, may rough figure po ba kayo, Secretary, regarding po dito sa in-export nating coconut sa US?
Pardon?
Do you have data po or amount kung gaano po kalaki ang ine-export nating coconut sa United States?
I don't have the total amount of coconut, no, but in whole, the agriculture sector has a $1 billion export value noong 2024. So, yun ang we're really hoping to increase this even further, no? Kasi malaki po ang market ng coconut ngayon and mga fruits also, no? Kasi aside from the, of course, masarap ito, no?
Yeah.
It's also the health benefits, lalo na of coconut, masyadong marami ng marketing or maraming health benefits na as ngayon for coconut and coconut products. So meron din tayong ito, dried guavas pala, meron din rice wafers, frozen tuna fillets, confectionery products, processed pineapple. Yes, madami po itong marami po. And these are all now 0% tariff. So
Zero.
maganda po ang this is a big win for the Philippine agriculture products exports to the US, and this will really help our farmers tremendously, no? Kasi of course we know the bigger the population, the more demand for these products.
Yeah.
So maganda po ito. Yes.
It's a big win nga, you mentioned nga po,
Yes, opo,
Secretary
yes.
Roque. Okay, so tanong ko rin po, ano po yung mga specific criteria and evidence na present po ng Pilipinas na para ma-secure natin itong mga ganitong exemptions po? Like this one, itong zero tariff sa
Yes.
agriculture.
Non-stop din po ang negotiations natin, no? As of this moment also, we are still negotiating for other products, no? So, just in case meron kaming update, definitely we will be informing you. So, informing the public. So, hindi po kami tumitigil sa pag-negotiate. We always want what's best for the our president will always tell us, si President BBM would tell us that we want what's best for the Filipino people and especially for our farmers. Maganda po ang naging kalabasan ng negotiations na ito.
I see. I wonder, Secretary Roque, are these policy of a zero tariff temporary or renewable, or is this permanent? And what's the government plan if the exemptions are time limited?
Yes, that's a good question. No, we just have to wait for the update of the US on the rules regarding these tariffs. No, because as of now, yun pa lang yung naging fixed po natin. No, but as we go along, may mga iba pang industries na gusto nating ipasok. So while the negotiations are ongoing, everything is still we still have to wait.
Wait. Okay. But for now, Secretary Roque, ito munang mga Philippine agricultural products ang pinaprioritize
which is
natin.
a big win po kasi 49% of our land is really still agriculture, and yun ang pinakamalaking isa sa pinakamalaking export natin to the US, and our farmers will benefit a lot from this. So magandang balita po ito.
Yeah, okay. Pero ito po, Secretary Roque, tanong ko na rin po, papaano po natin mapoproteksyonan ang mga local producers habang pinapanatili po nating bukas ang ating export markets? Kasi merong risk dyan, Secretary, about dun sa mga imports, yung dump imports na papunta sa ating mga local markets. Paano po natin tinitiyak ito na protektado ang ating mga local producers?
Protektado naman talaga ang ating local producers. No, we really protect the manufacturing industries of the Philippines because we recognize the jobs that it provides. So doon sa mga produkto na pumapasok, mahigpit po ang Bureau of Customs regarding pagpasok ng mga goods, especially yung mga dumped goods. And then we're also imposing some tariffs for some items na pinapasok sa loob. So marami pong ginagawa ang Philippine government to make sure that we protect the Philippine manufacturing industries and the Philippine businesses here in the Philippines.
I see. Okay, moving forward, Secretary Roque, since ito na, nandito na tayo sa zero tariff sa agricultural products, ano po ba yung mga priorities pa ng DTI para renegotiate natin itong 19% tariff rate?
Actually, maraming priorities ang DTI. No? There's really a lot of let's say industries na nine-negotiate pa natin. But again, we signed an NDA here, so hindi po namin pwede ma-divulge yung mga nagaganap na mga negotiations. But once we get information on this, definitely we will tell the people about this.
Okay. Right. Okay, so eto po ang last na katanungan na lang po, Secretary Roque. What metrics and timelines will the DTI use to measure the exemption's impact, particularly dito po sa export volume, sa farm income, sa prices, and when can producers and exporters expect public updates on those results?
Okay. Yeah. We're talking about the U.S. tariff. No, definitely. Once we get information, we will disseminate it quickly. In fact, the time we got the agriculture na 0%, in 2 days we already informed the people. Nag-press con na po kami ni Secretary Go about this one. And aside from that, for the export market, we are not only preparing the exporters for the U.S. market, but we are opening other markets for them through the different FTAs. Like in January, we will be signing the UAE SEPA, the Philippines UAE SEPA. So that's also that's like a free trade agreement between the UAE and the Philippines, and then we will also be signing the Chile FTA, and then we will also be signing next year the EU FTA, meaning exporting to the European Union, which is also another huge market. And then we're also going to start the negotiations for the Canada FTA and other FTAs then po. So we are really pushing for the different FTAs because we must realize if the US is not the only market, the world is our market. So ang dami pa nating pwedeng ibenta sa world. So yun ang pinupush talaga. So we encourage all the businessmen to go to the DTI or to actually explore what the DTI can offer to them. Marami pong opportunities ang pwede for both local and export. We also have to understand we have a very strong local market which is almost 120 million Filipinos. In fact po, this is one of the what attracts our country to foreign investors, yung large population po natin, because the market is so huge. So maganda po na i-explore nila not just an export but also the local market po.
Okay, you mentioned ito pong mga free trade agreements natin with other countries, and that will take effect. Is that correct? For next year, Secretary Roque?
Yes, next year po. Yes, next year we will be signing already kasi tapos na po ang negotiation ng UAE and the Philippines. So it's just signing. We already have a date, middle of January. So that should be done by January. And then within the year, it should be the European Union, the EU, and the Philippines FTA. And then we're hoping also for the Chile. And the Philippines FTA. Maganda rin po yung Chile because that's the north. That's the South American market. And with the new deep sea port there, maganda po ang magiging outcome rin ng export doon.
I see.
So that's and they also prefer agriculture products. So maganda rin po ang magiging doon.
Alright. Ang ating market to. Now, last follow-up.
Yes, magiging strength ng market natin for the different industries po.
Right. Okay, last follow-up, Secretary Roque. So, ano pong products ang ating may offer dito sa mga free trade agreements na ito sa mga bansang ito?
Actually, madami pong products, no? We have our semiconductors where we're very strong at. And then madami din pong agriculture products. We have, of course, the star product, the coconut sa agriculture, no? And then the mangoes, the pineapple. Then, actually, we have a lot of products that we can offer. We also have furniture. We also have, madami po. Actually, there's really, there's also garments. Marami po ang pwede nating ibenta to the world.
Ayan. Itong manufacturing natin nga, as you mentioned, Secretary Roque, malakas.
Malakas po ang manufacturing, and now with the Create More law that was signed by the President last year, it's really a game changer sa tax incentive. So, mababa na po ang presyo ng mga mga items po natin na pwede talagang i-export.
All right. And we will be watching this developments regarding this. Ito nga pong mga free trade agreements natin sa mga bansa.
Yes.
I think it's a form of diversification ng ating markets, Secretary Roque.
Again po?
It's a diversification ng ating mga markets.
Yes, correct. Yes, we need to have other markets, not just the US market. Para aside from lalaki din ang negosyo, no, ang lalaki din ang kita ng mga exporters, it's also we don't get stuck with only one market. Para if anything happens, we have a fallback.
Ayan. That's great. And with that, thank you so much for joining us in the program, Secretary Maria Cristina Roque of Department of Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Jerome. Magandang umaga po.
Thank you. All right, and that was Department of Trade and Industry Secretary Maria Cristina Roque in the program talking about the exemptions of the Philippines that receive from the Trump administration regarding the exemption, in particular the agricultural products. And she mentioned about the upcoming free trade agreements with some countries and organizations. So that means that our market will be diversified even more and will not be reliable in just one single market. And we will be watching those developments as it goes along. And that trade or free trade agreement will start by next year, particularly in January. And when we come back, we will be talking about the developments in the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, particularly the search for Cassandra Leong, as it told in reports that Cassandra Ong is at large and she was set free from the government's custody, and also the Philippine government's request for red notice for or against former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque. And that's all coming up here on Front and Center. We'll be right back.
Mabilisang trivia, dagdag talino. Heto na ang Dagling Kaalaman.
Alam mo ba, kumakain daw ng sarili ang ating utak araw-araw? Ang prosesong ito ay tinatawag na phagocytosis, kung saan ang mga cells sa utak ay nililinis ang mga sirang bahagi o sobrang koneksyon para manatiling maayos ang takbo ng ating isip. Kapag natutulog tayo, mas aktibo pa ito na parang garbage collector ng utak na naglilinis ng mga basurang selula at lumang koneksyon. At sa proseso ng paglaki, lalo na sa adolescence, tinatanggal ng utak ang mga hindi na ginagamit na koneksyon para mas maging matalino, mas mahusay at mas handa tayo sa adult life. Kaya oo, kumakain ng sarili ang utak mo, pero ginagawa niya ito para mas maging mahusay ka.
Kaunting kaalaman na malaking dagdag talino. Abangan muli ang susunod na Dagling Kaalaman.
Paano nga ba mag-register para magkaroon ng schedule sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center? Narito ang mga dapat gawin. Gamit ang iyong mobile device, pumunta sa eGovPH app. Pwede itong i-download mula sa Apple App Store o sa Google Play Store. Gumawa ng account. Ilagay ang email address, valid mobile number, pagkatapos ay makakatanggap ka ng one-time code sa iyong email. Gamitin ang code sa eGov app para sa verification ng iyong account at ng mga impormasyong ibinigay. Congratulations! Meron ka ng eGovPH app account. Pwede mo na ma-access ang iba't ibang serbisyo ng gobyerno kabilang ang mga serbisyo sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center.
Time to celebrate kulturang Pinoy. Tradisyon, musika, sining, literatura at iba pa. Anything and everything fun and Filipino. Ito ang Pinoy Kultura.
One of the fondest memories I have as a kid is riding the jeepney. It made me feel like a king. Dahil ito ang King of the Road. The jeepney or jeep is a cultural symbol that has transported us to school, the office, sa mall, at sa iyong first date. Mura, makulay, at mabilis. Yan ang ating jeep.
Maaari bang umusog-usog ng konti?
Sakay na!
Yan ang Pinoy Kultura because our culture is cool.
This is a public service announcement.
Discipline is the key. Umiwas sa aksidente sa daan. Ang pagmamaneho ay may kaakibat na responsibilidad, hindi basta mapaandar lang ang sasakyan. Kilatisin ang sarili, ang kahandaan sa manibela, siguruhing inyong konsentrasyon ay hindi magagambala. Importante rin na ating laging isipin, init ng ulo ay huwag pairalin, bagkus kaligtasan ng lahat ang siyang dapat unahin. Isang mahalagang paalala mula sa Presidential Broadcast Service at Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, 738.
This is a public service announcement.
Public service announcement.
From PBS, Presidential Broadcast Service at Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, 738.
Time to celebrate kulturang Pinoy. Tradisyon, musika, sining, literatura at iba pa. Anything and everything fun and Filipino. Ito ang Pinoy Kultura.
Naaalala niyo pa ba ang mga katagang ito?
Amoy pawis, amoy araw. Ano ba yan? Puro sugat ka na naman! Bakit wala na naman kapares yung tsinelas mo? Ang dungis mo!
Tama na! Ayos lang, di ba? Masaya naman tayo naglalaro sa kalye ng sipa, patintero, agawang base, habulan, jolen, trumpo, tex, at marami pang iba.
Some Filipino games just show how creative we are. All we need are players and nothing else. Ang saya balikan ng ating kabataan.
Kain, tulog, laro, laro, at laro.
O ano, game na?
Pagkabilang kong 3, nakatago na kayo!
Yan ang Pinoy Kultura because our culture is cool. Time to celebrate kulturang Pinoy. Tradisyon, musika, sining, literatura at iba pa. Anything and everything fun and Filipino. Ito ang Pinoy Kultura.
It's a leap of faith. Factually more like a three-step and a sway. Ito ay ang sayaw sa Obando, Bulacan. Sinasalihan ng mga babae at lalaki na humihiling ng anak o asawa sa 3 pintakasing santo. The Three Saints, San Pascual Bailon, Santa Clara ng Assisi, and Nuestra Senora de Salambao. Wikipedia says it's a dance of vitality and abundance performed for 3 days from May 17th to the 19th, 1 day devoted to each saint. The festival starts off with a mass and later in the day, the dance procession is performed, where devotees sing the Santa Clara song and melody to the Blessed Virgin of Salambao, their Thanksgiving song. The festival could be traced to an ancient ritual called Kasilonawan, a celebration of the god Linga, a force of nature. When the Franciscan missionaries came, they introduced the 3 saints to replace the pagan gods. In WW2, the Church of Obando and much of the town was pretty much destroyed, including images of the 3 saints. The festival was banned because of its pagan roots. Religious processions were still held, but the dancing was not allowed. But in 1972, the new parish priest and the Cultural Commission of Obando brought the tradition back. Sayaw sa Obando has survived for centuries, holds up to this day. And yes, it was another victim of the COVID, put on hold just like other mass activities. But in May this year, thousands of devotees, mostly families and couples, came back to pray for children and perform the fertility dance in the streets of Obando. And just to be safe, with face masks on.
Yan ang Pinoy Kultura because our culture is cool.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And we're trying to get contact with the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission as developments are stirring up here, particularly the search for Cassandra Leong, as this woman was declared at large, and now as report says, she's now currently in Japan after she was being released from the government custody regarding the case of the Lucky South 99 issue where she was involved with. As we're trying to get the line again to to the PAOK through its spokesperson, Dr. Winston Casio. So we're trying to call again the attention of the spokesperson of the PAOK as we're trying to get his line back here on the program. But in the meantime, we'll try to get another short break here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center. We'll be right back.
Mabilis ang trivia, dagdag talino. Heto na ang Dagling Kaalaman.
Madalas ka ba magpuyat at kulang sa tulog? Lumalabas sa pag-aaral na ang madalas sa pagpupuyat at laging kulang sa tulog ay nakakaapekto sa iyong kalusugan, partikular sa iyong puso at metabolismo. Maaari itong maging sanhi ng hypertension, mataas na kolesterol, stroke, heart attack, obesity, diabetes at iba pa. Kaya tandaan, sleep well, live well.
Kaunting kaalaman na malaking dagdag talino. Abangan muli ang susunod na Dagling Kaalaman.
Itinuloy na po natin ang zero balance billing. Libre po. Ibig sabihin, ang serbisyo sa basic accommodation sa ating mga DOH na ospital, wala nang babayaran ang pasyente.
Po, ang dami pong challenge, hindi po namin alam kung saan namin kukunin, ganon, nag-iisip kung paano namin mababayaran. Siyempre po, masayang-masaya, super saya po dahil na zero billing po kami. Opo, malaking po talaga, malaking tulong po. Mabilis lang din po.
Bayad na ang bill ninyo. Uulitin ko, wala nang kailangan bayaran ng pasyente basta sa DOH Hospital dahil bayad na po ang bill ninyo.
Naiyak ako kasi sobrang saya. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Hindi kami nagkamali ng taong ihinalal.
Front and Center program here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo, and unfortunately, we don't have a contact yet with the spokesperson of the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, Dr. Winston Casio, as I would like to get an update regarding this issue of Cassandra Leong, as well as the issue of former presidential spokesperson, Attorney Harry Roque. And as of this moment, in reports, the last location where Cassandra Leong was found was in Japan. That's according to media reports. And also, just for a backgrounder, Cassandra Leong was an authorized representative of Lucky South 99. That's a Philippine offshore gaming operator, or POGO hub, that is based in Porac, Pampanga. And authorities says, under the allegations, the Lucky South 99 was involved in serious abuses such as abusing workers, mainly foreign nationals. And these were allegedly trafficked, kidnapped, tortured, and also forced to work, etc. And so far, for legal action, a Pampanga court issued an arrest warrant against her. We are talking about Cassandra Leong, which is a non-bailable case for qualified human trafficking. And at the same time, according to the PAOK, an Interpol red notice has already been issued for her. And at the same time, we have developments here, particularly with Harry Roque. And a Pampanga court, which is a regional trial court, branch 118, issued an arrest warrant for former presidential spokesperson, along with Cassandra Ong and others, for qualified human trafficking. And the government accuses Roque of helping in the setup of Lucky South 99, specifically helping secure its license, acting as heads of its legal department, which former presidential spokesperson denied these allegations and accusations rather. And in the meantime, Attorney Roque is currently abroad, particularly in the Netherlands. We saw the last time Attorney Roque was in Netherlands and participating in in some rallies organized by supporters of former President Rodrigo Duterte in the Netherlands, particularly in the International Criminal Court. And also, the Philippine government has requested Interpol to issue a red notice against Roque, and that was requested by the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission. And just for information here, the red notice is not the same as an international arrest warrant. It's a request to law enforcement in other countries to locate and provisionally arrest someone pending extradition or legal proceedings. But in the meantime, PAOK says that case is based on evidence, and that's for alleged human trafficking, torture, and kidnapping. And it's PAOK further said that that case is not a political persecution, which Attorney Roque claims. And this criminal case involving serious human trafficking is not just a political dispute. So we will have to watch out for these developments as we go along here. But we will try our best to get the PAOK side regarding this issue. But we will try to get them by Wednesday morning. But in the meantime, we're now ending this program Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our technical team rather, headed by Ms. Susan Aison, and on our Warkas, we have now Justine Ucias, and audio stream, we have Leo Magpayo. And this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
Watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.